Blessings, friends. Welcome to Kadosh Ministries, where holiness is a lifestyle, and Jesus Christ is truly King of kings and Lord of all lords. Hallelujah. Well, friends, today is February the 22nd. Had to look and make sure. February the 22nd of the year 2017. And this is one a day for the soul. Now, our text this morning is going to be taken out of Matthew again. And we're going to look at chapter 8 and verse 22. But before we do, I just want to pause for a moment and have somewhat of a heart-to-heart. When we had initially began this ministry, our very first video was entitled, I believe, Welcome to Our Ministry. And in that video, we take much time to try to introduce what the desire of our ministry is to be, what the focus is to be. And friends, the name of this ministry is Kadosh Ministries, which simply means Be Holy Ministries. Now, as I've read the Bible many times, if someone asks me what is the key thought, the key precept, the key principle that you take away from reading the Bible that you would pass on to someone else, and it's simply two words: be holy. That's what everything is about. Because as men and women are born in a natural environment, they tend to surround themselves with the things of this world. And yet we are commanded from the beginning to the very end. We are commanded to separate ourselves, to distance ourselves from the things of this world and from the ways of this world. And that's the battle. The battle is getting men not only to let go, but to recognize the need to let go, to recognize the why they should let go. And so I say all of that to say this: no matter what story we look at in the Bible, no matter whose life we examine in the Bible, no matter what book we're reading in the Bible, and no matter what text we are studying in the Bible, the core of it all is to be holy. Not to move forward with the world in progressing as a people on this planet, but to resist that temptation to turn back and go back to the simplicity of the fellowship with God that Adam had in the garden. What was the very first thing that we see mankind do, and why did he do it? He built a tower to make a name for himself. Go back and read it. It's in the early chapters of the book of Genesis. Man built a tower to make a name for himself. And God interrupts that endeavor because that's not why we're here. We're not here to progress. We're here to digress, to regress. We're here to go backwards, not forwards. But it is the way of man to progress, to become civilized. But it is the way of God to resist all of that and to live as simply as we possibly can, not focused on how we can make our lives easier, but focused on how we can bring comfort to others. Living by the necessities of this life only for ourselves, and taking any surplus that we have above and beyond and putting it into the lives of others. Now, with that in mind, let's look at our text. But Jesus said unto them, Follow me, and let the dead bury the dead. You follow me, and let the people of this world take care of the things of this world. That's basically what that's saying, friends. And I want to point that out because there are so many people I talk to, good-intentioned people, who one side of them wants to be obedient to the message that they hear and they see so clearly in the Bible, and yet the reality of the situation says, no, that can't be because I have to have a roof over my head. No, you don't. I have to have a vehicle to get back and forth to work. No, you don't. I have to have clothes to wear. Not the kind of clothes you're purchasing. I have to have shoes on my feet. Who says they have to match? I have to have food in my stomach. Who says it has to be purchased at the grocery store? I have to care for those who depend upon me. What did Messiah say? He said, the God that takes care of the sparrow surely will take care of you. You see, if we were going to be honest about it, all of our trust, all of our faith is within ourselves. If I'm going to have to produce it by my own hand. I've been around a long time. I've had these discussions with a lot of people from a lot of different backgrounds. There's nothing new under the sun. I've heard it all. And some of it makes good common sense. But who says that living for God is supposed to make common sense? Common sense doesn't say tap the water and walk across on dry ground. Common sense doesn't say throw your staff on the ground and it will become a serpent. Common sense doesn't say, let me spit on your eyes, go and wash, and you'll be healed from your blindness. It's not about common sense, friends. It's about moving out from under this cloud of understanding and reckoning and defining everything based upon this world as we know it. And it's moving into a sphere and into a realm of possibility based upon no fact, based upon no evidence, based upon no common sense. It's absolute obedience with no consequences considered. So let's look at our text one more time before we close today. Jesus says, follow me, and let the people of this world take care of the things of this world. Let the dead bury their own dead. You follow me. Now, if you have an argument at this point, friends, it's between you and your Creator. I'm simply the messenger delivering the message. I have to comply. I have to conform. I have to live according to the Word just as much as you do. We may wrestle with God over these issues, but I can tell you, based upon the testimony of men and women who've gone before us, and even the very experience in my own life, He always wins. So after saying all of this, you may say, preacher, what are you trying to say? Here's what I'm trying to say. Stop making excuses and obey. Stop rationalizing and obey. Stop minimizing and obey. Stop justifying and obey. For the degree of our obedience will not go unnoticed, and it will certainly not go unrewarded. But the rewards aren't the things of this life. They're spiritual, invisible things that move and take place within us and change us and conform us into the image of the men and women that we forevermore shall be. Tough words? Maybe. Deep words? Maybe. Words of truth? Absolutely. Words that need to be considered? Absolutely. You see, what it all boils down to is that men will always make excuse. But as we surrender ourselves to the will of the Father, we come to learn the excuses fall very short. I love you, friends. Now, as Yahweh wills, and until tomorrow, I'll see you on the next video.